Welcome in, everybody. We got a show for you coming live here. This is the Daily Wolves courtside. We got Anthony Edwards with a weird game, ups and downs all around. We got Ayo Dosunmu absolutely exploding off the bench. A lot of guys making tons of contributes to the game. Sorry, I stumble upon words. I guess I can't contain my excitement. Just like every Wolves fan, man. And I've had a few beverages, just like everybody. Thirsty Thursday, as I like to say from our college days, boys. But we got people joining in the live right now. Cole, to kick it off here, I'm going to send it to you, man. What's your first impressions of the game? How you feeling after it? And like, is there anything in particular that like got you juiced to start the game, just to start everything off?
Yeah, no, I honestly, I said this in the group chat, but like, did I take a time machine back to 2023?
Right.
The defense was amazing tonight. Like that's first and foremost. At the beginning of the game, offense wasn't really rolling. We weren't hitting very many shots until we kind of found out that, hey, we have to start going downhill, attacking the paint. But no, I think tonight, with what Jaden said after game 2, it's just great that the defense came out on fire and with just so much passion while the fans were behind them. And you could just feel the electricity just through the television of what the arena was like.
100%.
Yeah.
I felt like Jaden too. Like he brought it up. We obviously saw his post game comments, like everyone on the live, right? So to back it up too, Jack, how big was that from Jaden? Like how big of a statement is that for the Timberwolves, man?
Massive. I mean, they're interviewing him and Ayo right now on Prime post game. I just always love seeing Jaden get some national shine. He's kind of like 100%. Our sweet prince, like our kind of hidden secret where we all want him to get more national pub because we think he's so amazing. And then to see him get it, just like it almost brings a tear to my eye. Honestly, I was tweeting all week about how much it would mean for Jaden McDaniels to have like a legacy show out, put your money where your mouth is performance in this game after his comments, because his comments were crazy. You don't see that very often. We're not surprised by Jaden, being a little bit of a shit talker and having some serious edge to him. He looks so even keel and calm, but those that watch him every single night know that he's got an extremely feisty streak and he hates people out there. He hates Devin Booker. He hates Jamal Murray. He tried to choke Jeremy Sohan on the Spurs. Like he's 100%. Feisty. So it's not surprising to see him get salty like that, but to call people out by name and say they suck is unprecedented. Sort of, you really don't see that ever. And it obviously put a spotlight on him and the Timberwolves, and they needed to put their money where their mouth was. He needed to put his money where his mouth went, and he did just that. He was outrageous on the defensive end, hounding Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray had to work so hard just to get the ball across half court. He was expending so much energy getting the ball across half court, and that's set 6-7 seconds of the shot clock every single time. They're not getting into their offense until 15 seconds. And he was incredible on offense as well. I mean, he's still kind of struggling to shoot the ball from deep, but he finally made his first 3 of the series, and it came at a crucial moment. And he was 8 of 10 from inside the arc, including the massive exclamation point on the game, which followed his first 3 that he made. Unbelievable Jaden poster dunk. You could not have asked for more out of Jaden McDaniels after those comments that he made.
I mean, he was awesome. Like you said, just all over the place. Shot incredible. Yes. Of course. He had 10 rebounds as well. I don't want to overlook that. So I felt like Jaden was doing everything. Yes. He meant business, and he took advantage of the points in the paint. Like you said, the way that Jaden has evolved his offensive game over these years, he's putting on full display for the NBA to see right now, which is something like we've seen all season and saw him develop the other years. We saw flashes of it in multiple playoff series and other years. And now like that, the whole world, I feel like, gets to see Jaden McDaniels. I feel like we were on national media, all over the news, we were on ESPN over Jaden's comments, and they were all tuning in to see like, how did Minnesota respond? Did Denver, how do they take this? Are they going to come out and take it like offensive? Are they going to battle back? And Minnesota, just the whole game, relentless. They talked the talk and they walked the walk. And I thought that was so special for the Wolves, for Jaden, for just everyone tuning in to Minnesota Timberwolves basketball tonight. It was so fun. What else stuck out to you in tonight's game, Cole?
Yeah, honestly, Ayo Dosunmu. I'm one of those people.
100%.
I mean, quite a few of us just love the guy. But, when the game kind of got sticky, when the ball was sticking to people's hands, taking 3-point shots when they weren't needed, um, he just got himself downhill and was able to get, points at the rim, and attacking, whoever was guarding him, he was going to attack him,
Yep.
10, 15 from the field. That's amazing. And then he, able to get to the free throw line. So he was 5 of 6. But I mean, I just there's nothing more that I can say about Ayo Dosunmu right now because we have just glorified him ever since we've gotten him since the trade deadline. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and Tim Connolly, I mean, he cooked with this trade. I mean, for what we gave up to get him this season, it's just been a revelation for the bench, just to have him and Bones together.
I think like Io too, like the trade goes down and there's some mixed emotions for people.
Mhm.
And like Rob had a couple good games and then you see people talking about that. Lenny had some good games. And we wish them the best, but Io's been an incredible trade. You see it on display and he's covering up for Nickeil Alexander-Walker in the series, but he
Mhm.
adds something to the game that Nickeil didn't have. And that's the ability to drive to the hoop, do kind of what we wanted TJ to do. And I think that's
Mhm.
added a different element to the Minnesota Timberwolves, Jack. You see it. Like he literally, I put out a tweet. He's the turbo in twin turbos, right? Like he's that special. He can get to put that pressure on the rim, drop fouls. And that's something we just really haven't had other than Anthony Edwards. And I just think like that's a different dimension. I'm so happy Ayo had a great game. Like he was kind of slept on. I think there was a Denver podcast that mentioned him and they thought he wasn't going to be a factor in the series. Well, Ayo proved him wrong tonight, right, Jack?
Yeah.
1000%. I think Kyle Teige tweeted tonight that at this point,
Shout out to
Rob
Kyle.
Dillingham, shout out Kyle, friend of the program, that Rob Dillingham would have to find life on Mars for us to have lost the Ayo Dosunmu Rob Dillingham trade at this point. I mean, Ayo has been a literal godsend, another masterclass fleecing by Tim Connolly. I mean, incredible value for two guys that simply just weren't playing for us. And if you want to blame Finch for that, if you think he didn't give those guys enough opportunities, maybe they end up flourishing somewhere else. Who knows? But Ayo just I think that was his best game as a Minnesota Timberwolf. He's had some big games. He's had some big games, several big games since he joined the Timberwolves. So there are other candidates, but he was outrageous tonight. I think you said it perfectly, Evan. He adds such a new and needed and impactful dimension to the Timberwolves. Naz Reid has long been like our entire bench offense. Last year, Dante DiVincenzo came off the bench, but he's starting this year, and Mike has obviously faded. Bones has given us kind of sporadic roller coaster, volatile contributions off the bench, and all of a sudden you add Ayo to the mix, and the way that he pushes the tempo, he's never missed a transition layup. I don't have that's not an official stat, but I'm almost positive it's accurate. He's never missed in transition. He is unbelievable at just if he has like a 1-on-3 fast break, that means he has numbers. He's getting to you don't have enough guys back. You can't have enough guys back to defend the rim when he's got the ball and he's going full speed towards the hoop. I mean, he was 10 of 12 from the field tonight, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 9 assists. If anybody had made a 3-pointer tonight, this would have been a 30-point blowout. He was relentlessly attacking the rim, and his ability to get by you and finish at the rim is uncanny. I mean, it's not just, wow, what a great game for Ayo and the Wolves. I've not seen anything like that. I mean, it's a bit hyperbolic, but his ability to finish at the rim is special.
So special. I think like the game he put on tonight, to just kind of add off of just a little bit more before we move on to just to come off the bench and do that in the playoffs. He doesn't have a ton of playoff experience playing for the Chicago Bulls for his entire career. And so like, you just didn't know what you were exactly going to get. And that's what the question marks were with Ayo, is how was he going to be? But like his game was like, it was built for playoff basketball, just like grittiness, get to the rim, great role player, not elite at necessarily anything, but just good at everything. Do you know what I mean? Like a Swiss Army knife, almost like what Kyle Anderson was when he was obviously younger. They're very different players, but like, just like he can do everything. And he was such a good 3-point shooter before we made the trade. I feel like everything's translating, and then Ayo's done even more than what I or anybody, a lot of people have thought, maybe except for Tim Conley and Chris Finch and a couple of the guys in the staff. But he's just been He's been awesome. And the best part about Ayo Dosunmu is they're probably going to lock him up after the season for a multi-year deal. He's the point guard of the future, potentially. Don't want to speak too soon. And he's young. That's my favorite part about Ayo is he's 26 years old. He's only going to get better. We're going to continue with the show right after this. Today's show is brought to you by 612tees.com. And if I'm going to shop for Minnesota Timberwolves gear to look fresh, to stand out, to have something different, I'm going to our friend Cole, who we partnered with. Shout out to Cole. He's a local Minnesotan. And again, I'm big on supporting Minnesota local brands. That's 612tees.com, all spelled out. Not the number 612, the words 612tees.com. And this is going to bring you to the best website out there for the freshest gear for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I absolutely love it. I shop there right now with my team. When we want to stand out at the games or going to our next watch party, 612tees.com. So I got to bring it up because Matt had already put it up. We put it on the screen that Rudy Gobert, he has gorilla nuts, right? It's going to like, what about Rudy Gobert's game? Because I think in this series, not just the game, he's been probably the best player for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, we got to give him all his flowers. He's been elite. He's proven why. He took the Defensive Player of the Year voting personal, that he wasn't even on the list, really. Like, Rudy Gobert should have won DPOY, and he's proving why. I mean, when he's on the court tonight, they were a plus 21, I saw at some point, and Jokic was a minus 21 at different points of this game. I mean, it's crazy, man. His impact, his defense on Jokic all series, and I mean, I don't know how anyone can stop Jokic. Rudy Gobert is showing you how special he is. So, like, we have to stand up. This is a future Hall of Famer, first ballot. Give him his flowers. Let me hear it, Cole. How did you like Rudy Gobert's game, man?
No, these last 3 games have been a godsend for this team. He's kept the Timberwolves in all 3 of these games. The one thing I'm looking at the stats right now, and Jokic still scored 27 points. He was 7 of 26 from the field.
Crazy.
Right?
Crazy.
And but he had 11 free throws. He made all 11. But, you know, Rudy Gobert, like, I don't know what to really say because so many fans out there do not like him just because of how
across
he
the
plays.
NBA too, right?
Exactly. But I think the reason why, and I keep hearing this about him not winning Defensive Player of the Year, is because we didn't have a better season, right? If we were a 3 or a 2 seed, he most likely would have gotten it, or it was just voter fatigue. So, but no, this series, he is the MVP so far. Through these 3 games. But I mean, even though that he only had 10 points, he is making Jokic work for every single point that he's getting. And that's good for us because once it gets close to the end of these games, they are tired. They are gassed. Jamal Murray is gassed
100%.
because of Jaden. Jokic is gassed because of Rudy. It's just one of those things that's kind of what we did a couple years ago against the Nuggets is we just wore them down throughout the series. Even though that we were down 3-1, we wore them down. And if we can continue to do this throughout this series, going into Saturday, if we can do what we did tonight, and if Aaron Gordon is playing or not, whatever happens, but if Rudy Gobert can have another game like tonight in these last 3, this series could be closed out within 5. Now, I'm not on the train of saying Wolves in 5, as we see on the screen, Wolves in 5. I think that this series is going to go 6 games, but if Rudy Gobert can show what he has done these last 3 games, this series is ours and we'll be moving on to the next round.
And it's just like Jaden had said before the series. Well, I think after game 1, he said, if Rudy Gobert plays like that, the whole series, we're going to win the series.
Yeah.
Jack, how do you want to piggyback off that on how special Rudy's been? Not only on the defensive end, you've seen him with the floater game, giving Jokic the business tonight, man. Like, he was making some free throws back to back tonight. Like, it was crazy. He almost had a finger roll, Jack. What have you seen of Gobert as well?
Yeah, he earned a couple Rudy gets to wild out a little bit moments tonight. Last couple games, really every game this series so far, he's earned it. I appreciate if he kept it to like 1 per game. If he makes it, maybe he gets another one, kind of like a challenge. If you get your challenge right, you get another one. If he makes a crazy Rudy shot, he gets another one. I'm sure Nuggets fans have PTSD from the fadeaway from Game 7 in 2024 after he made that little deep hook shot or finger roll. He almost made the finger roll. He airballed his push shot and he made his little floater. But he earned it, man. He earned all of them. I mean, he is making it so difficult on Nikola Jokic. Now, Nikola Jokic definitely missed shots that he has shown he can make. I mean, he's proven to be one of the best difficult shot makers in the entire NBA. I mean, there's the classic meme of like, you just played 23.5 seconds of perfect defense, and then it's Jokic shooting it from behind his head and nailing it. So obviously, there's a bit of luck involved when you're guarding Nikola Jokic. Julius Randle said it before the season started. You got to call God and just ask for a little bit of help. And certainly we got some of that. But Rudy Gobert and the rest of the Timberwolves are doing everything they can to make it as difficult as possible on him. You said it, Evan. He was minus 21 tonight, and Rudy was plus 18. And I mean, they're on the floor at the same time for almost the entire game. And Rudy is making it so incredibly difficult on him. And the conditioning that it takes for a guy that size, a 7-foot guy, to be able to play defense like that against the best player in the world, and then go down on the other end and constantly set screens, run up to the top of the key, set a ball screen, roll hard to the basket, get forearm shivered on the way down, then maybe get waved back up for another screen, and then sprint up and down the floor playing defense and offense. He's so well conditioned. His body's in such good shape. And I don't know that you can say that about Jokic. Obviously, you look at him and he looks kind of pudgy, and you wonder, is he in great shape? I think he's probably much more athletic and well conditioned than he might look, or the casual fan might think. But clearly, Rudy is physically dominant, and he's putting on a masterclass of defense right now. I think you're right. He is the MVP for the Timberwolves at this moment.
Yeah, you're seeing them in all facets look more athletic, look faster right now. Obviously, it's a long series, like you said, Cole. And so I don't even agree with the Wolves in 5 thing either. But it's a long series, and there's going to be adjustments. But right now, Minnesota looks fresher, younger, minus Ant a little bit with his knee. But they just look ready to go. And when the game gets late, the physicality that Minnesota has brought so far in the series, it wears on Jamal Murray. It wears on Aaron Gordon, as you see. Now he was out tonight. Like, it's worn on these players, all these guys. We'll see if they get Peyton Watson. I'm sure he'll be back at some point in the series. They really need him right now. But man, it's just, Minnesota's been all over the Nuggets. They've been giving you flashes of that defense we saw a couple years ago when they played the Nuggets as well. And it's so fun to see. We'll be right back after this. It's that time again in Minnesota. It's NBA playoff basketball. And just like an NBA game that can come down to the last shot, so can the process of buying or selling a home. Heather Barker is one of the best realtors in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, and she can give you all the advice on buying and selling a home. Again, go to wolvesrealtor.com or contact Heather Barker. And when I plan my next big move, I know I can call Heather and confidently get great advice, and she's going to help me out because Timberwolves fans, we stick together, and Heather's a diehard season ticket holder. Why wouldn't I want to go with Heather? wolvesrealtor.com. Tell her the Daily Wolves sent you. Okay, we got some technical difficulties with Jack. He'll be back in just a second. Perfect. Oh, we're just going with the whole thing right now until we
we'll figure it out, right?
There we go. We got it, guys. Cool. Well, I was gonna ask Jack this and you this as well, but I guess it's just us two for right now. Julius Randle. I felt like tonight's game, if he didn't go 0 for 3 from 3-point line, like I thought like Julius had a solid game. It's something I was looking for Julius, because like he was playing defense, he was trying. Yeah. But he only had 15 points, Cole. But I think what I liked is that he had 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Like those are the games where if Randall's doing all those things, he's not always just dribbling the ball out. I think that's where it helps Minnesota, and he can pass it. He can spread it around. He's a really good facilitator. Chris Finch, likes him. What'd you think of Randall's game, I guess, so far tonight and then in the series in general? Man?
I think tonight has just been kind of like the entire series. I think Julius Randle's just been like a mixed bag, right? He's been really good at times, but then he also kind of reverts back to just settling for his jumper, which is exactly what the Denver Nuggets want to have happen, right? They want Julius to sit out on the 3-point line and just give it to him, just exactly kind of what OKC did in the Western Conference Finals last year. But I will say this, that I'm very happy, and I've said this on the podcast the last few times that I've been on, and things that I've noticed about Julius is that he right now is more willing to get into his defensive stance and actually guard people, which we weren't seeing at the beginning of the year, of course, or in the middle of the season. And at this point, like if he's scoring 15 points and he's giving you the hustle and he's giving you the defensive stops and everything, it doesn't matter if he's scoring the 15. Like I'm just happy with that. And yes, the 6 rebounds is a plus. But one thing that I want to circle that I saw tonight from him, actually two things, was the one block that he had was I believe it was in the third or fourth quarter. Jokic kind of backed him down, and Julius literally just was able to kind of swat that out of there, out of bounds. And it
Yeah, I
was
remember
kind of
that.
at a point, yeah, it was kind of at a point where the Nuggets were trying to make a little bit of a run on the Timberwolves. And not only that, but he only had one turnover tonight.
Yeah.
So if you can get that, he's got 4 assists tonight, but if you can get that out of Julius Randle, where he's playing defense, he's giving you to that 15 to 20 mark, and he's giving you a really good ratio, the assist turnover ratio, that leads to Minnesota Timberwolves W's. And again, that's just kind of what he's shown through these first 3 games against the Nuggets.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
The turnover thing's huge with Julius because we've seen games where he gets 6, 5 continuously. Like him
Yes.
and Ant turn the ball over at a high rate. And just when he's not doing that, it's so helpful for the Wolves. I think there's something in there too where Randall's going to have like a big explosion game. I'm surprised he's not like absolutely dominating this series just because he was so good against the Nuggets before the series started, like his offensive numbers this season. So I really thought with no like really rim protector, like he was going to have their way, especially with Aaron Gordon. I think we thought he was going to have a big game, right, Jack?
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at the box score and it doesn't look great for him tonight shooting the ball. He wasn't particularly efficient. Only the one turnover, which I always like to see with him, because you can kind of see he gets indecisive and throws some bad passes at times, or maybe forces a drive here and there. But I did think he got some big buckets for us when we really needed it. And he exploited mismatches. He's just so good when he's decisive and controlled. And that dunk that he had in, I think the third quarter, maybe it was the fourth quarter, that was incredible. Just sometimes you kind of forget how much of a physical specimen that he is out there. He I think I said the other day, if he had, and this is, all respect to Julius Randle, if he had like Mike Conley's brain or Kyle Anderson's brain, that basketball IQ, he'd be LeBron James out there. I mean, the physicality, the physical attributes that he has, and the skills at times when he's clicking and he's in his zone are off the charts. And his ability to score the basketball and carry us in like non-Ant moments or moments where the offense is sputtering, which we've seen a ton this season, and we've seen much of this series. Really, the offense hasn't been elite. It's been the defense that's been carrying us. His ability to carry the offense, if Ant is less than 100%, which he obviously has been the entire time, and who knows what the deal is. Obviously, they may have just sat him tonight because we had a comfortable lead. Of course, I'd rather see him out there able to finish the game, and there's no concern with me. Maybe they were extra cautious. Who knows? We do know that Ant's knee is not 100%. It's going to flare up with that runner's knee. And Julius's ability to carry the offense in those moments when Ant isn't available is going to be crucial for us being able to close out this series.
Yeah, I want to say one thing. And Jack, a lot of Nuggets fans don't agree with you. He's not hurt. I mean, that's what I've seen all day. Man. All day, man. Oh, he's
so
not hurt.
Crazy.
And then I saw one at halftime where I can't remember who it was. I reposted it, but it was like, oh, if A-Rod's a part of the organization, that Ant's, shooting up PEDs in the back. I'm like, okay, like Ant is.
He's got to call Paul George. Yeah,
that's funny.
Funny. Anthony Edwards is hurt, but I will say he is like, he's just performing in showing the league and the fans that even though he is hurt with that kind of injury, that he is still dominant and that he is still a top 5 player in this league right now.
I mean, he did what he could tonight, like you said, 17 points in just 24 minutes. Foul trouble for Ant. I thought a lot of the fouls too were probably honestly because like he wasn't himself defensively. He just got his knee a little bit, maybe was acting up, and I felt like some of them he was getting blown by, and he was fouling guys too. So especially that like last foul on Tim Hardaway, I felt like, or it might have been on Bruce Brown. I can't remember who it was on. Like, but I don't think he gets blown by. Like, he's such a good elite one-on-one defender in that part of the game. I think he locks him up if he's healthy, but it's definitely bothering him. Something he can play through. We'll see. He went back in the tunnel multiple times tonight, which is interesting, partially probably because of frustration, but I'm sure just to get like treatment, little things, little ice while they could. I thought the Minnesota Timberwolves played really good without Anthony Edwards tonight. And that's scary. I think if you're a Nuggets fan, like I know everybody's the talk's going to be around the Nuggets. Like we don't have Aaron Gordon tonight. I feel like that's going to be a lot of the talk. And I feel like a lot of the game tonight, we didn't have Ant, obviously very different. But like just them, it's scary for them because like Minnesota played this well without Anthony Edwards, and they figured out something by just going relentlessly down the hill. Jaden called it out before it. Obviously, we know this. Go to the rim, and they did it just over and over. If you look at the points in the paint, it was crazy tonight for the Timberwolves. They need to remember this. They need to talk about it again, and they just need to execute on it next game. I think that's how they succeed moving forward here. The last guy I just want to touch on before we kind of wrap things up and then go over like key takeaways of what we got to do next game real quick. Jack, I got to ask you about my boy Donte. I call him Rated R Ragu because that's a bad man right there. Like, it's not the big Ragu in Minnesota. When he puts on that black uniform, it's tough. I call him Rated R Ragu. You saw it, man. He's a demon out there. What do you think of Donte in this series, and how special has he been, man?
He was so, I mean, I'm still buzzing from Monday night from his game 2 performance because he was absolutely outrageous in that one. But he was great again tonight. He kind of hunted a little bit towards the end of the game to get a couple more threes under his belt. I think he might have been 1 for 6 from 3 until the very end when it was kind of garbage time. Got himself back up to 37.5%. But as always, he's just doing a little bit of everything. Our guy, Brandon Beck from Crunch Wears No Pants, calls him a stuff doer. He's just doing stuff. And you know, occasionally the stuff is a little bit out of control. It's not always good, but like 95% of the time, it's good stuff. He's constantly doing everything out there. I mean, you look at the box score, it's 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals, only 1 turnover.
Just a dog.
He's just such a dog, and he got buckets tonight. Efficient night scoring, and yet again, plus 20. He was plus 20 in game 2 when nobody else was better than a plus 6. And there were only 2 people that were plus minus anything double digits, and they were both Nuggets players that were minus 11. And he was plus 20 yet again tonight. Again, you know, there's all the flaws with plus minus, and it's sometimes there's, you know, misleading positive confirmation bias. But when night in and night out, you're a massive leader in the plus minus column, you're just doing a bunch of positive stuff out there. And I live here in New York City. I'm constantly talking to Knicks fans. Every single time that the trade gets brought up, they say, yeah, man, I mean, Cat's really good, and you know, Julius is good too, but both those guys are kind of frustrating. But God, I was just devastated when we had to give up Donte. I love Donte. I miss Donte. And I think Wolves fans, he's had his ups and downs with us a little bit over the last 2 years, but I think many Wolves fans have come around to feel that they absolutely love Dante DiVincenzo and what he brings on a night in, night out basis, whether the shot's falling or not. He's been amazing. I love Donte.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing about Donte is like a lot of players in the NBA, if they're having an off night or an off stretch, let's just say like Julius, right? It really takes a toll on him, and it goes for long stretches, but he doesn't show anything else that he can do on the floor, right? He just shuts down. Dante's not that kind of player. And I tweeted this out yesterday or during game 2, but Dante DiVincenzo is a player that you want on your team to, you know, for a championship caliber type team, I should say. So every championship caliber team needs a guy like this. OKC, they got Alex Caruso. That's exactly the kind of player. Hustle, does all the dirty work, does all the little things that you need to do to have a team be successful. And that's what Donte is. It doesn't matter if he's scoring 15 points a night or if he's at 2 points. He's going to give you the same effort every single night, and it's 110% all the time. And that's what I love about Donte. And that's all I can say, because that's just what he is, and I love it.
I love it too. I think he's just been such a, like, him and Gobert, like this series, again, they've been just amazing. They set the tone for the team defensively. And it's been underrated for sure from all the stuff Donte hasn't got this year. just piggybacking off of what you guys say too, I feel like the NFL draft was on tonight and Donte could have been in it because he's just constantly picking off passes, man. He could have been a cornerback out there or something.
Get him in the slot. Slot nickel DB. He would be a beast.
Something like that too. Like he's just special, man. I mean, the way all those different ways, like the way he anticipates it, sometimes he gambles, but like he's been so on point. It's just been huge for the Wolves. Last game too, with him on his defensive end and then hitting that big 3 at the end of the game, like getting called gorilla nuts, like just being confident, like that's also a part of his game. That's so cool. Is like, it don't matter. Like he just believes in himself and he knows. And that's why like Dante's in the starting lineup. Like that's why like Finch has kept him in there, even though everyone's clamoring for like Ayo right now. It's because like Donte just has Finch's trust and like he does those things that no one else will do and he gets dirty. That's why Finch loves those players. And it's awesome. Like you said, I thought that was a great point, Cole. Like he's that guy. He's our Alex Caruso. He's that dog in this series. I'm really curious to see what we do in the next game because I feel like this is a big game on Saturday now. Now you're going in there. It's a weekend game now. So the crowd at Target Center is going to have no limits on the consumption of beverages, I would assume, because they probably don't work on Sunday. And it's a little bit earlier game too, which I think is just good for everybody. So a lot more eyeballs to the screen. I believe it's a 7:30 p.m. Central Time start instead of these late
Saturday
ones.
too. Saturday. You said Sunday before. Make sure all Wolves fans know it's Saturday.
Saturday
night. And it's not too early because I don't think that we often play very well in afternoon games. It's not too early.
Yes, that's true.
But it's perfect timing. But it's not freakishly late. Yeah, it's not freakishly late like these weeknight games have been. Perfect time.
Perfect and who knows? KG might even be there. He might stop out on a weekend for game 4. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it.
You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
And that would be insane. Like I can't even imagine what it would be like. I mean, I literally can't even imagine what that would be like. It'd be crazy. We're going to be live after every single game, coming to you right here post game on the Daily Wolves. And we're obviously on all our different socials that you see on the screen. If you're listening on audio, we're on Instagram, X, TikTok, any of the socials, Threads. You can just search the Daily Wolves. You'll find us. Apple, Spotify, the Daily Wolves podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well. And yeah, wherever you get your podcasts, we're also on iHeartRadio now, which is pretty cool. Thanks for everyone for joining and the support as always. Go Wolves.